Impunity for international crimes has been a long-standing problem. Efforts have been undertaken by the international community all throughout the 20th century to combat it, in particular since the Second World War. Finally, in Rome in 1998, and in order to fight against impunity for the most serious crimes, states created the International Criminal Court, the ICC, a permanent independent court currently supported by more than 120 states parties. So when crimes of serious concern to the international community occur, the ICC can step in as a court of last resort under specific legal conditions.
Court is now in session.
In March 2012, 10 years after it was set up, the International Criminal Court finally secured its first conviction against the Congolese warlord Thomas Lubanga.
Mr. Thomas Lubanga Dailo is guilty of the crimes of conscripting and enlisting children.
Lubanga was later sentenced to 14 years in prison for the war crimes of recruiting child soldiers and using them to participate in hostilities.
The President of Kenya has arrived at the International Criminal Court. He is the first sitting world leader to appear before the Hague-based court, where he faces charges of crimes against humanity. The high-profile case is a major test for the ICC, which has a string of collapsed cases and has been accused of singling out Africans for prosecution.
Thank you, Madam President.
President Uhuru.
The International Criminal Court is currently preparing a case against 2 Libyans accused of crimes against humanity. The defendants are Colonel Gaddafi's son, Saif al-Islam Gaddafi, and former intelligence chief, Abdullah el-Sanusi. Both men are reported to be in custody in Libya.
If you do drugs in my city, I will kill you.
Thank you so much.
And welcome to One Normal Way. Local time is 1:30 p.m. During our taxi to the terminal, it is required that everyone be seated. Please remain seated and leave your carry-ons.
Literally any day now, the ICC may announce the start of a formal investigation against these American patriots who voluntarily signed on to go into harm's way to protect our nation, our homes, and our families in the wake of the 9/11 attacks. The ICC prosecutor has requested to investigate these Americans for alleged detainee abuse, and perhaps more, an utterly unfounded, unjustifiable investigation. Today, on the eve of September the 11th, I want to deliver a clear and unambiguous message on behalf of the President of the United States. The United States will use any means necessary to protect our citizens and those of our allies from unjust prosecution by this illegitimate court. We will not cooperate with the ICC. We will provide no assistance to the ICC, and we certainly will not join the ICC.
The ICC, John Bolton today said that the administration would sanction the International Criminal Court, which is a move that seems to be a reversion to sort of Bush-era policies. Is it fair to say that this administration is now shifting toward a more hardline stance toward the ICC? And if in fact it is so feckless, then why is the U.S. so concerned?
Certainly the president is committed to defending our national sovereignty and all of our security interests, which would include using any means necessary to protect our citizens, those of our allies, from unjust prosecution by the ICC.
Today, 17th of March 2023, the International Criminal Court has issued 2 warrants of arrest in the Ukraine situation. For Vladimir Putin, President of the Russian Federation, and for Maria Lvova-Belova, Commissioner of the Russian President for Children's Rights, for the alleged war crimes of deportation of children from Ukrainian occupied territories into the Russian Federation.
Reaction to the International Criminal Court issuing an arrest warrant for Vladimir Putin?
Well, I think it's justified, but the question is, it's not recognized internationally by us either. But I think it makes a very strong point.
The International Criminal Court has issued a statement in response to the current attacks directed at the ICC following reports that the court is considering to issue a warrant of arrest for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. For more on this, we are...
You have to hear this to believe this. The International Criminal Court in The Hague is contemplating issuing arrest warrants against senior Israeli government and military officials as war criminals. This would be an outrage of historic proportions. International bodies like the ICC arose in the wake of the Holocaust committed against the Jewish people.